Kindly confirm if you can hear me, please. If you can hear me, kindly drop an emoji, please. Please, if you can hear me, kindly drop an emoji. All right, thank you. Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. All right, you're welcome to another session with Gloria. In our previous classes, we have looked at what graphic design is. We have looked at the principles of graphic design, which are the core things we need to be able for us to be able to come up with good design concept. Now, not just beautiful concepts, but then I've been laying emphasis on functional designs, right? Now, today we'll be looking at design brief. Now, design brief is the foundation for every design, or it is supposed to be the foundation for every design. Now, what do I mean by that? It is supposed to be our starting point. Before you start creating any design piece, you should be able to have your design brief on ground. That is supposed to serve as a guide and also a roadmap to you as the graphic designer. Please, a minute. So it's supposed to serve as a foundation. Now, I always say one thing. What I always say is that you don't just start designing because you know how to use a particular design tool. You are expected to come up with designs that are functional. You're expected to come up with designs that work, right? So that it will be easy to tell the difference between you and a roadside or a random graphic designer. So the first or the starting point is this: having your design brief. Now, what is a design brief? I have said one thing summarily, which is it is the piece or it is a piece of document that guides the designer's decision when creating a design. It is a piece of document that guides the designer's decision. It gives the designer insight when he or she is coming up with a design piece. So right here you can see that. Can you all see my screen? If you can see my screen, I need a reaction, please. I need an emoji if you can see my screen, please. Okay, thank you. Or perhaps a comment, please, because I'm just seeing emojis. I want to carry everybody along. A comment. Right, good evening, everyone. Okay, thank you. Kindly confirm if you can hear me, please. All right, Sandra, are you still on the call? If you are, kindly drop a comment. If you can hear me, kindly drop an emoji, please. Please, if you can hear me, kindly drop an emoji. All right, thank you. Thank you. All right, thank you. Okay, thank you. So we're going to look at what a design brief look like. All right, and you're welcome to another session with one ourselves. Gloria. Now, for a designer to come up with design in our previous classes, we have looked at what graphic design is or her clients. That's to say, you don't the principles of graphic design, which are the core things we need to be able for us to be able to your client come up with good design concept. Now, not just beautiful concept, but then I've been emphasizing
I've been laying
An
emphasis
example of a
on
design brief here.
functional
A
designs,
design
right?
brief I
Now today we'll be
created
looking at
for the app I
design
developed.
brief.
That's the Kudi Track
Now,
app
design
I
brief is
coded.
the
Now, this
foundation
is
for
what the design brief looks
every
like.
design,
The
or it is
first
supposed
thing
to
you
be the
see on
foundation for
a design
every
brief is
design.
the
Now, what do I
project
mean by that?
overview.
It is supposed to be our starting point.
That's the first thing you see on a
Before you
design
start
brief. The
creating
project
any
overview.
design
So
piece,
what is
you
a
should
project
be
overview?
able
It
to
simply means
have
a
your design
summary
brief
of
on ground.
what you
That is
want the
supposed to
project
serve as
to
a
look, the
guide and
product
also a
rather, to look
roadmap to
like.
you
A
as the
very brief
graphic
summary
designer.
of
Please
what
a
you
minute.
want the product to look like is what we refer to as as a project overview. So it gives the designer a clear insight as to where you want or the direction he or
So
she
it's
is to
supposed to
take
serve
while
as a
creating
foundation. Now,
your
I
design. So
always say
over
one
here
thing.
I have
What I always say is
project
that you don't
overview
just
for
start
this very
designing
piece,
because you know how to
which is
use
for
a
this very product,
particular
which is
design
Kudi
tool.
Track. Now
You are
can see what I
expected
have here.
to
Kudi Track is a personal financial
come
app
up with designs that are
designed to
functional.
help
You're expected to come up with
individuals and
designs
small
that
business owners
work, right?
manage their
So
money
that
better. So that's the essence
it will
of
be
the
easy
product
to
to be
tell the
built now.
difference between
It
you
allows
and
users to track
a
expenses,
roadside or a
monitor
random
profit,
graphic
set
designer. So
financial
the
goals, and
first or the
understand their
starting
spending
point
habits
is
in a
this:
simple and
having
clear
your
term
design brief.
or way.
Now, what is a
Now,
design
the goal
brief?
of this
I have
project is
said
to
one thing summarily, which is
design
it is the piece
clean,
or it is a piece of document that guides the
easy to
designer's
use, and
decision when
appealing app
creating
that
a
works
design.
well
It is
for
a piece of
every
document
user.
that guides
That's
the designer's
specifically in Nigeria
decision. It
because the
gives the
app
designer
was
insight when
targeted
he
at
or she is coming up with a
Nigerians, right?
design
So
piece. So right here you can see that. Can you all see my screen? If you can see my screen, I need a reaction, please.
okay, sorry, please, Sandra, I just got your message. Sorry.
I need an emoji if you can see my screen, please. Okay, thank you. Or perhaps a comment, please, because I'm just seeing.
Are we good now? Please, are we good? Are we together? Sandra, please drop a comment if you're back. Guys, I need reaction, please. If you can hear me without any form of echo, I want you to kindly react or drop a comment in the comment section, please. Okay, thank you, Sandra. All right, thank you. So, as I was saying, this is a summary of what the product is supposed to, the purpose or the essence of the product. This is what the product is supposed to do in general, in a very, very short and clear term. This is what the product is supposed to do. So with this now, the designer should know that the word finance is mentioned, personal finance is mentioned, and the essence of the app is to help business owners, individuals who want to be financially conscious or who want to track their expenses, who wants to monitor their finance. The essence of it is to help them track their expenses, to help them monitor their income, the profit they make, amongst other things. So with this now, the designer begins to think in a particular way, right? We're talking about a financial app, and if you can clearly remember, in our previous class I mentioned that financial applications, most of the times when you're building them, you think of trust. Yes, trust is something that is applicable to every business or every business owner wants to be trusted. However, when it comes to finance or any business that has to do with people's financial status, the trust is always expected to be top notch, right? Because nobody wants to do a business with any organization or business owner who cannot be trusted when it comes to the issue of money or finance. So one thing you should have in mind is finance, right? Now, please, for those of you who were in the previous class, can you please tell me what color should come to the designer's mind the moment he or she sees this project overview when it comes to color choice? Now, what should he or she be thinking of? Please kindly drop your answer in the comment section, please. Please, I need feedback. Okay, thank you. Someone said blue. Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. Another person said blue. Yes, I need feedback, please, in the comment section. What color? All right, thank you very much. We all agree that blue should come to mind. Yes, why? Because blue is a color that symbolizes trust. When the color blue is mentioned, one of the major things that come to a designer's mind is trust. Yes, it connotes other things, but in this very context we're looking at trust. So because it's a financial app, blue should come to the designer's mind. However, we say in our previous classes that other colors can still come to play depending on their primary goal, the key message they want to communicate. So we have established that it's a financial app, so the designer will start thinking towards the direction of blue. However, the person will have to go through it again and look at other key things that are supposed to inform his or her decision. That's the designer's decision. Now, aside the fact that it is a financial app, it helps users to monitor their finances, in the sense that it helps them keep track of their expenses, monitor their profits, set financial goals, and also help them understand their spending habits. Now, we can consider green. Please take note. We can consider green. We can decide to use green for this app. Now, you might be wondering why. How is green related to Kudi track? Now, I'll tell you how or why. If you are smart enough to monitor your expenses, to monitor your income, or to track your finances in general, one thing is certain: you are definitely going to be able to increase your wealth. I'll take it again. If you're that person who is good at monitoring his or her expenses or her finances, one thing is very certain. That thing is that you will be able to grow your wealth, because if you are earning and you're taking note of your income, you're taking note of your profit, you're taking note of your expenses, then it is easy for you to call yourself to order when you're spending extravagantly. When you're going out of track, it will be easy for you to call yourself to order. But in a case where you are spending without you taking note of what you're spending, how much you're spending, how much you're making, it is even easier for you to run into debt. So with that, your finances will not grow. So now, because we're looking at it from the angle of financial growth, and we say green is associated to growth, automatically you can decide to use green for the app. Please, if you're getting my point, kindly drop an emoji or a comment, please, just so I can be sure we're together. I'll explain it again. I decided to use green for this particular app for a very simple reason, and the reason is this: when you are a business owner or an individual that is financially conscious, right, it will be easier for you to grow your wealth. By financially conscious, I mean you track your income, you track your expenses, you track your profit, you track your loss. So you're not just spending money, you are taking note of every single amount of money you're making and how much you're spending out of it. With that, it will be difficult or probably impossible for you to kind of spend extravagantly. Why? Because you're tracking or you're keeping track of your income, and as a result of that, you can easily build wealth. And when we talk about being able to build wealth, we're talking about you being able to grow your wealth. When we talk about growth, one color that comes to our mind, or that should come to our minds as designers, is green. Please, if that makes sense, I'll need an emoji, please. But if so any one of you is confused, kindly drop um your question in the comment section. I'm waiting, guys. I need a reaction. Okay. Please, if you are lost, kindly drop your question in the comment section, please. All right. So that is that about that. So you can see that with just this little information, the designer has been able or will be able to do or to decide what color to use for this very product. Now beneath it, we have another short write-up that says the goal of this project is to design a clean, easy to use and visually appealing app that works well for every user, especially in Nigeria. Now, our concern or the key words we need to take note of at this point in time are clean. Secondly, easy to use. Right? Now, from here, we can decide what our layout will look like. We can also decide what typography we are to use. How and why? When they say clean, that means they don't want their design to be cluttered. They don't want the design to be too noisy. They don't want to see too many elements of design. In essence, it has to be simple, because cleanliness and simplicity in this very case can be seen as synonyms of each other. So what they're expecting from you as the designer is a very simple and easy to access design. So they don't want too many elements of design on their piece. Please, anything that is not relevant, that is not communicating a message or conveying any message, please kindly take it out. That's the point. We don't want things that are not relevant. We don't want things that we cannot use or things that are not communicating any message. Please take out unnecessary things. So that means it has helped guide your design direction. So automatically you should have at the back of your mind that your layout has to be clean and simple. No complexity. No any form of complexity whatsoever. Okay, it's like someone dropped a comment in the comment section. Okay, Sandra, I am not seeing the flyer you are designing. No, we're not designing a flyer. We're trying to understand the design brief yet for now. We're not designing a flyer yet. We're trying to understand the design brief. And then when we want to start designing the flyer, we'll now apply all of those things we have extracted or deduced from the design brief to our design. So we're not designing a flyer yet, please. I don't know if you can hear me. Sandra, are we together? Are you still there? What we're trying to do is to understand how we can pick out information from a design brief and apply it to our design in reality. So we're trying to digest the design brief before we start designing. Please, I don't know if that makes sense. Yes, I am. Yes. So now the next thing is, remember the upper part of the brief, that's the project overview, has helped us decide color. Now we're not thinking purple, we're not thinking blue, we're not thinking purple, we're not thinking gold, we're not thinking gray, we're not thinking any other color other than blue and green. And we have established the reason why we're looking at these two colors. The first one is we're looking at blue. We're considering blue because it is a financial app. And when it comes to financial apps, trust is of great essence to them. That's one. Now, the second thing is we're considering green for a reason. Right? The reason why we're considering green is because the essence of the app is to help users track their finances, that's their income, their expenses, amongst other things. And people who are able to do that are able to grow their wealth. So we could create an impression of growing your wealth with the app by using green. That's to say we have, through just this project overview, been able to decide to pick two colors from which we're going to pick one that we'll use for this app. Now the next thing is the bottom part. Now that's the goal of the project. The design has to be clean, and I said that decides your layout. So you're now looking at it that your design must not be cluttered. You must not have any irrelevant element on the design on your canvas. Sorry, when creating this design, everything has to be simple and clean. That's one. The second thing this part will help you do as a designer is to decide your typography. Because the word clean is used when we talk about cleanliness, in most cases it is being associated with modernity. So when we talk about modernity in design, most at times what comes to our mind is the sans serif font. We have the serif font, we have the sans serif font. Now if you see my design brief, you will see that I use Roboto as a typeface for it, and the reason is because I want to pass that message of cleanliness. So that's why you're seeing the text, right? The typography I use does not have feet, because the difference between the sans serif font, or one of the major difference between the sans serif font and the serif font, is that the serif fonts have feet. Please, if you have access to your system at the course of this class, you could just go online and check the difference between serif font and serif. You see that the serif font has feet, while the sans serif font does not have feet. So that sans serif means without feet. Sans serif means without feet. So those tiny things, extensions at the bottom part of the finisher or the starter part of the letters of the alphabet are eradicated. They are not included in the sans serif font. So when you're creating a design that is clean, or you want to create a design that is clean, you should think of using the serif fonts. Don't think of Times New Roman and some other fonts that have feet, because those ones are sans serif fonts. When you use them, they give your design a different meaning entirely. But when you're using a design typographies that have no feet, typographies that are sans serif, then automatically you'll be able to convey your message. So you can see from our project overview, we have been able to decide our color, we have been able to decide our layout, right? Our page layout, and we have also been able to decide what typeface to use. This is the essence of a design brief. So you're not sitting down to create the design brief alone as a graphic designer. You're going to work hand in hand with your client, because they know what they want, right? Remember, in one of our classes, I mentioned that your client is someone, no, your client also have a client, right? You are working for him while he or she is working to satisfy their target audience. So in as much as they are the ones reaching out to you, they are serving as a bridge or a barrier between you and the target or their target audience. So they come to you and tell you, okay, this is what we want to do to our clients. This is how we want to serve our clients. And then you tell them, okay, can you go further and explain in details? After they have explained, sometimes, in fact, in most cases, you sit down to write the design brief based off the information they have given you. Please, if that makes sense, I need a reaction, please. All right, thank you. Now, the next thing we have is our project goal. What is the essence of the product? What is the essence of the project? The designer needs to know. It will also help inform his or her decision at the cost of creating your piece, right? So the goals here we have are: one, to help user clearly see where their money is going. Clearly, that takes us back to the word clean. Clearly see, so they don't want the design piece to be cluttered. It has to be clean, because one of their goals is to make sure that users can clearly see where their money is going to. Don't hide any information, right? If there's going to be an action button on the design piece, please make it bold, make it visible, lay emphasis on it. You know, when we're talking about the principles of design, we talked about emphasis. Let there be emphasis on it, so that the people who will consume that design piece will be able to use it with ease. Now, track their income, their expenses, and also profit, right? Without any struggle. So you're not hiding any information. You're not creating a hamburger menu where you're not supposed to create a hamburger menu. Let's say you're having a design for a digital design, right? Not a print design. You're not hiding any information inside another one. They don't have to click on a drop down menu to see a particular information that is supposed to be displayed on the nav bar. So some things should not be hidden. Let them be open so they can easily access the design and use the content of the design or the design elements without any struggle. Now, encourage users to save and set financial goals. These are just some of the project goals, work smoothly for both beginners and experienced users. So when you're creating a design piece, yes, this is coming from the corner or from the angle of product design, but then it still applies to graphics, right? When you're creating that design please make it easy to understand or comprehend. Don't avoid any form of complexity. If you want people to know that it's a financial app, okay, and you're thinking growth, financial growth, people who use it can easily track their finances, and through that they can grow their wealth. You're thinking money, you're thinking any image you want to add in order to help convey that message you're trying to convey. Please make it minimal. We don't want a situation where we are seeing dollar on the left, we're seeing naira on the right, we're seeing pounds on the at the top of your design, we're probably seeing another currency at the bottom part. No, money, just pick up money from any country's currency and drop it there. The bottom part is, let it be that the currency you're using is what is being used in the country where that very design piece will be consumed. Let's take an instance, China. You're designing for Nigeria, right? You're designing for your Nigerian audience, and then you're using the China currency on your design piece. That is going to convey the wrong message. So if you're creating a design for Nigerians, please make sure that you're using our own currency over here for it. If you're designing for Ghana, make sure you're using the Ghanaian currency for on your design piece. So you have to carefully select or pick your elements. Now, support multilingual language. Okay, that's one of the goals of the project. And then feel modern. You can see we have feel the essence of the project. One of the goals of the product is to feel modern, to be trustworthy, or to feel trustworthy, and also easy to navigate. Now, when we talk about navigation, we're not just talking about product design, we're not just talking about you browsing. No, when we're talking about the principles of design, we talk about accessibility, right? People being able to see your design, being able to interact with it without any form of struggle. So let your design be easy for users to navigate. You remember we talk about proximity. When they look at it, let them capture something at the middle part. If they're going to the top or the upper part of your design, they should capture what you want them to capture or what you want them to see there. Let them know what the focal point of your design is. Let them know what the starter texts are. Let them know what the finisher texts are. Don't just put things randomly so you don't get your design looking all messy and your clients or your end users looking all confused. Now, who are your target audience? It's very, very important when it comes to design. Who are the people you're creating your design piece for? This information will always be included in your design brief. There is no two ways about it. It is not even negotiable. Are you creating a professional design? Probably your boss in the office is about to celebrate his or her birthday, and let's say you wanted to throw a surprise party. That's you now as staff wanted to throw a surprise party for your boss, and the boss is probably this very corporate person, this very principled person, probably not mean but highly principled. He does not have time to play with you people, he does not have time to gist with you people. Now, when you are organizing such an event, in as much as you're trying to surprise him, you're trying to make him feel happy, you're trying to make him feel excited, one thing should come to mind, right? That thing is, you have to make sure that the event or whatever it is that you are organizing or arranging suits his personality. If he's someone that is highly principled, he does not like any form of rowdiness, chaos around him, and all of that, you don't expect him to walk into the office and then you're all shouting "Happy birthday, sir!" and then you're throwing what is it called? You're all shouting, screaming, you're all over him. You don't expect him to be happy at that point in time. So if you're organizing an event for such a person, you have to make sure that the event is very calm and subtle. Very calm and subtle. So the same thing applies to the design now. When you're creating a design piece for such a person, please, there are elements of designs that should not be included. And the design must not be chaotic, because at this point in time you're not trying to convey a message of excitement alone. You're trying to convey excitement, but in a professional way. Why? Because that person wants to be addressed or wants to be related with in a very, very professional way. So you're not going to put flowers everywhere, you're not going to have probably elements falling. There's a way you arrange your elements of design that it makes it look as if it's falling, making it look very chaotic, making it look sometimes very noisy and rowdy. You're going to avoid things like that. In a case like that, you could just have a very simple symmetrical design. We talked about the type of design layout, right? Very simple symmetrical design, probably his picture by the side and then a little text by the side, just something very simple, no complexity, so it comes out clean and professional. So knowing your target audience is very important. Now, the reason why you are doing this is not just because of the person's personality, but because it is believed that since this person is like this, the kind of audience, the kind of people that will attend this person's party, or the kind of people that this person will want to see in his or her party, have to be people of like mind, or people with similar personality, because anyone who does not like being in a noisy environment will certainly not want to have people who are very noisy around him or her. So those are your target audience, the people who attend the party. Now, from his personality, by extension, you're able to predict what majority, obviously not all, what majority of the attendees will look like. Please, if we're together, I need a reaction, please. Please, are we together? All right, thank you. Now, the next thing is this. In as much as getting or knowing your target audience is important, it influences your design a great deal. If you're creating a design, I'll give another example. If you're creating a design for a little child's, you're creating a little child's birthday flyer, right? And or a banner or a book cover, a jotter cover, or something, anything customized for the child, you're expected to make it look exciting. Please make the design piece look very exciting. Don't just create a design that will look boring, corporate, and all the elements looking all static and all of that. No. One thing should come to your mind: because this person in question is a child, there is a need for the design to be what? For the design to look very, very exciting. Why? Because it is believed that the parent might probably invite their friends, but then they will want the environment to be very noisy. They will want the environment to be very lively. They will want the environment to be full of energy, because it's a child. Imagine a 3, 4, 5 years, 6, 7, 8, sometimes even up to 15 years old child having a birthday party. Now they want the environment to be, they want all sort of bubbling, right? They wouldn't want the environment to be calm. They wouldn't want their environment to be dull. So when you're creating a design for such a client, please look at it from the angle of the target audience. The target audience would definitely be people, happening people, or party loving people. Please, I'll say it again. Obviously, not all of them, but certainly majority of them will be people who will want the environment to be very lively, because cases like that, it is expected that the child will probably invite his or her friends. So a case like that, you look at the kind of elements of design you're using. So knowing your clients will help you decide or know the kind of elements to use on your design piece. Now I'm going to share a particular design with us all, so you can have an idea of what we're talking about. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to share my, oh no. Oh, sorry, I'm unable to log in because I'm using the same browser for the live recording. Okay, let's see how it works. Sorry, guys. Just a moment, please. Okay. Okay, so I was trying to see if I could switch the browser, but the network is failing. Okay, so I have switched my screen, please. Can you see my screen? If you can, I need a reaction or a comment. I'm sharing a design, please. If you can see it, kindly react. Okay, just one person. Who else can see it? I think just one person. So that means I will have to. Okay, so I can't proceed because it's just one person that is seeing the screen. Let me just finish up the explanation and then probably share the entire screen. So that is that about our target audience. Knowing who your target audience are will help inform your design decision. And then we have the user characters. I have explained that prior to now. When we talk about the user characters, we're talking about their personalities, right? The personalities of your target audience, right?